Okay, we just finished up, this is practice test part 2, the second file of practice test, and we just finished the first video for this file. And now we are going to hopefully finish it up with this second video. And now let's go to the DB, which stands for database. And this is going to be some advanced filter stuff and the D functions, the database functions. So first thing we want to do here is use an advanced filter to determine which stocks in the S or H category have a total current value of 10,000 or more. So for category, I want either S or H, and it doesn't really matter if they're caps or not because Excel is not case sensitive. And total current value, which would be the last column here, has to be greater than or equal to 10,000. Okay, so if you remember, the way this works is each row, the rules on the row are connected by the word and. So this row says I'm looking for the category S, and it has to have a current value of 10,000 or more. If that doesn't work, then the next rule is this one, and the row 2 rule and the row 3 rule are connected by the word or, but the stuff on the same line is connected by the word and. So down here I want to know if it is the H category and it's greater than or equal to 10,000. If I didn't have greater than or equal to 10,000 on both of these, let's say I didn't have it down here, then it would find me the S stocks that have a value of 10,000 or more, but it'd give me all the H stocks. Well, I don't want to do that, so I'm going to bring back that greater than or equal to 10,000. So that's my rule. And if I apply that rule, there's not a whole lot of data here. So let's just click in the data someplace, and let's go to our data tab, and let's do an advanced filter. And if you start off with the cursor in the list, then it will automatically find it for you. But then we got to pick our criteria range. And our criteria range consists of the headings up here and the rows with the criteria in it. And we're done with that now, and just click on OK, and that's our filter. Now if you look at these, they're all S or H, and if you look at this column over here, they are all 10,000 or more. So it appears to be working. Now we want to put a formula that will determine how many companies, so we're just counting the rows basically, meet the criteria above. Okay, and it says 12 of 29 down here, so we know what that is. So it's going to be a D function, and let's go to our formulas tab, and the D functions are not on a book here, so let's go, and for our category we want database, and we want D count, and the database is everything in here. So I'm going to actually go all the way down to right down there. I don't want to miss row 38, so I'm including 39 here too. The field that I want to count, it can be any column that has a number in it, so it can't be columns 1 or 2, but anything above that would work. Since I'm doing the current value column over here, which is column 7, I'll just put a number 7 in there. And then my criteria range is this area up here. I only need to include the part, I don't have to include this because there's no rule there. So and why didn't it catch that for me? Let's try that again. There we go. And now click on OK. And 12 is the number we're expecting, and 12 is the number that we got. Okay, now it wants the number of shares. So I want to add up all of these numbers here. And actually I can check this before I do it. So if you just drag the mouse over that, in the lower right hand corner it will tell you the count and the sum. So the sum is 12,950 if you add all those up. So we should get 12,950 for the number of shares. So this is a sum function. It is dsum. So scroll down to dsum here and click on OK. The database again is over here. And I'm going to go all the way down to row 39 again. And the field is the number of shares, which would be column 3 in the table. And the criteria again is this area right there. And click on OK, and 12,950, and I'm think that's the number I got before, but I can just double check here, and 12,950. So that one's working right too. And then it wants to know the highest value among those. That's going to be a dmax function. So let's go up and do dmax. And the database again is going to be from here all the way down to row 39. And the field is going to be total current value, which is column 7. And the criteria again is going to be this. Click on OK. And 66,187. So if I look at these numbers here, sure enough, 66,188, and that is just off by 50 cents because we're not displaying any decimal places in this column, so it's going to round 50 cents up to the next dollar. And that takes care of our advanced filter, and it also takes care of the D functions. Okay, now we're going to do a lookup over here. And the only lookup function we worked with in class was VLOOKUP. So I want to look up the cost of this item, and the cost is column 3 in my lookup table over here. Okay, these are not in order, and we're doing text lookups, so you should always do an exact lookup when you're doing that. So this is going to be under lookup and reference, and so we want a VLOOKUP. And the lookup value is the name of what we're looking for. The table array is this stuff over here. We don't need to include the column headings when we're doing this. The column index is column 3 is where the cost is. And for this one, I have to put in false if I want to do an exact lookup. And click on OK. And the cost of a stroller should be $145.67, and it is. And then we want the markup, and we should get 30% for that one. So let's go here and let's do another, whoops, I don't need to go there. I just want to go to lookup and reference and VLOOKUP. And again, the lookup value is there. The table array is the same table array, and the only thing that's different is the column index is the markup. That's column 4 in my table instead of column 3. And again, I have to do false here. And so it says 0.3, which is 30%. So if I want to make them look the same, there we go. Okay, the last thing is we're doing some 3D references here, and I want to know how much the French 2000 sales for coffee for French in the North were. So I want B3 on this sheet plus B3 on this sheet, and I want the sum to go in B3 on this sheet. So they're all corresponding locations. So that's a formula. And this is actually pretty easy. Just go click on this and then click on what you want. Check out your formula up here. This is the name of the sheet, and then an exclamation mark, and then B3 is the cell. And then type a plus because I want to add on the other value. Go to 2016 and click on B3 there. And that says 2016 coffee, exclamation mark B3, and then hit enter. And it's $95,000. If I go back here and look, 45 is one of my numbers. The other one must be 50 because that will add up to 95,000. Okay. And because these are relative cell references, guess what? If I drag it down, the B3s change into B4s, and that's exactly what I want. And if I drag it across, it will do the same thing. Whoops, I missed that first row there. So let's go back and redo that. And there you go. And that brings us to the end of the practice test.